switching live.
Hello.
Hey! Welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Melissa Dell.
I'm Jonah Du.
Shantelle Du.
Sarah Meadows.
Will Meadows.
Kevin Dell.
And Ryan Bills.
Welcome to Tantrum Talks.
Yeah.
Live.
Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We are looking forward to just chatting with you guys in the comments, so be sure to write lots of cool things for us to answer. We want to spend a decent amount of time tonight welcoming Jonah and Shantelle to the house. They've been working with us for a little while now, but we're trying to make it more and more official every step of the way. We got plenty of questions that we want to
questions.
drill them with. But we want to give you guys the opportunity to as well, and just get to know them. They spent the 12-hour game-a-thon with us for good chunks of the time. It was a blast to hang out.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah. Go back and rewatch that. We know there's a lot of...
the traitor.
Every time.
It was a lot of times. It was like 3 in a row at one point. It was crazy.
There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world right now, but we want to just take a moment to just have some fun, focus on the things that we're passionate about and the hobbies, and really just enjoy talking with you guys. I think Kevin wants to give a shout out to our sponsor for the episode tonight.
Our sponsor is Burnt Island Games. They have a Kickstarter coming June 23rd for Into Deep. Into Deep is a game that Will and Sarah will be doing a live playthrough during Origins online, which we'll be a part of. I believe that's Saturday, June 20th. So if you want to see a live playthrough of Into Deep, that is from Burnt Island Games. We have a prototype of that, so we'll probably do a preview video.
Yep,
too.
we'll have a preview, and then the live video will be 1 p.m. Eastern Time on June 20th. So don't miss that.
And if you want to see any other games from Burnt Island Games, we did during our 12-hour game-a-thon, we did a playthrough of In the Hall of the Mountain King, which I think Jonah won.
Jonah won.
We did it. Took my strategy.
Sure did.
Perfected it, maybe, apparently.
It did. Like Will's like halfway. He's like, Jonah's taking my. What is it? What? It's working. No. It was kind of funny to see like from beginning to end, and yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It was really good.
Congratulations, Jonah.
Thank you.
Way to go. Quick shout out to Quirky, Pete, Larry, Michelle, David. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you guys have any questions for anybody in the crew, really, you can feel free to post them. We'll try to interact with you guys as we go. I do have some questions, though, if we're ready to begin.
I think it's ready to start.
All right, question number 1.
I feel like, do you want to be a millionaire?
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
If we get all these
Can we
correct,
do
are we going home with $1
win.
million?
Top 100 people say.
We'll see about that. Okay, so obvious first question. I'm not even allowed to ask this. Are you pregnant?
I'm just fat. No, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, so I am. As of tomorrow, will be 39 weeks pregnant. Yes, we are due June 12th.
June 12th, man, that's right around the corner.
Yes,
You
We're
already,
a week away.
Yes,
you already have one.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. Jalen, he is 2 years old. He is a handful.
Next question, Ryan. Did you know you were going to ask questions? As a parent of a first baby and now a second baby,
2 babies.
what immediate advice do you have for
The
Ryan?
second
Shantelle?
baby will not be identical to the first. So if your first child was easy, your second child won't be.
What if
Is
your
this
first
from
child
experience?
wasn't?
Our first child didn't sleep at all for like 2 straight years. So does that mean this one's going to sleep? Because I would take
Maybe.
that. All right.
Or maybe
I
four,
would
think that's what it
4
means.
years.
Right.
Well, no, now you've got the practice down. You figured out some ways of getting into sleep. So
Correct.
now the second one is maybe you've got some under your belt. You've got some notches.
Parent experience. Now, Jalen, this is your older son. Give me, like, I don't know that the audience knows this, give us a little rundown on the tale of the Jays.
Okay. So in my family, everybody's first name starts with the J. So in my immediate family or in my house when I grew up, is that immediate?
Yeah.
Okay. In my immediate family, I've got 2 older brothers. They are both J's. I've got 3 little sisters. They are both J's. I've got my nieces and nephews are all J's. Most of my cousins are J's. So in my immediate family, there's Jeremiah, there's Joshua, I'm Jonah. We have a Joy, we have a Julia, and we have a Junia. My eldest brother has 3 kids who are Judah.
Who knew you were going to be tested on all this, right?
I'm going to get it right though. Who are Judah, Johnny, and James. My middle brother has 4, who is Joshua Jr., Juliet, Jade, and Jeremy. We have Jalen and new baby on the way. That
Michelle would like to know. Do you know if it's a boy or girl?
We do know, Michelle. It is a girl.
Oh,
Okay.
girl.
So we have a
And
girl.
do we ask the next question here?
Do it, yeah.
So if you had to name the baby after a game,
After a game.
Right, what game starts with J?
what games are with J?
What about Jumanji?
Hey, good year.
It'd be the year to name Jumanji.
Definitely a 2020 baby for sure. I mean, what happened to the murder hornets that we were supposed to be getting?
They're coming back. Level 3.
Level 3.
Oh man, there was what else? There's Jamaica is a really cool racing game.
Mark
That's not
suggests J-Pier, or however you pronounce that one.
Oh,
Jasper.
Jaipur. From,
Yep, a couple of them with that.
Oh, yeah, you should give us some names of games that
Are
start
you
with
allowed
J.
to tell us? Do you guys have a name picked out?
We do have a name picked
Is it a
out.
secret? We won't push you.
We have told our family.
Okay. How you tell us?
I will let him decide.
We're like 8 days out from everybody's gonna know, right?
I mean, you're more particular than me.
The pressure's on.
I had to go through so many obstacles just to announce it to the family.
We
Oh,
have to make sure we got the name right.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to that.
Okay.
That's
It's
fine.
have to
You know
tune
what?
in
They
to
should-
something we do.
I told
8 days
you.
from now.
Maybe you could do it on
Saturday morning?
morning board game show.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, come back to that.
Maybe she'll already be here by then. But
Yeah.
We'll have
I
a
think that's
text
a
in
wise
names.
choice.
Yeah.
June 13th is our Saturday morning board game show, and it'll be the end of our Kickstarter campaign. We don't want to forget about that. We got
Yes.
another game.
We got
Other
to
games
get
coming.
Jaws, also a great game name, and a good board game. Battlecry says, it's a trap!
Oh, that's great. Will there be a Tantrum House kids softball team? You have to be close to fielding one by now.
We're getting there, for sure.
Yeah.
T-ball. I think we can pull off T-ball next year. We'll be ready. Good stuff. All right, next question. Tell us a little bit about where you guys are from. I know you have kind of been in lots of places, so let the audience, everybody out there in the world know kind of where you guys' background are and where you guys have traveled to and all that good stuff.
Cool.
Sure.
You go.
All right, awesome. Every time I get asked the question, where are you from? Jonah hates my explanation.
That's
So
okay.
here we go.
Buckle up, folks.
So I basically spent about half my lifetime. I was born and raised in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Spent about 10, 11 years there, and then moved down to Florida. Spent another 10, 11 years there as well. Basically kind of stayed in the middle of Florida. And then I went to school in Clearwater. So I went to Clearwater Christian College. That's where we actually ended up meeting.
Oh.
And then about my junior year of college is when I got a phone call saying, hey, I think you should move to South Carolina and live with my parents. So I
Didn't go like that.
Here we go.
Other circumstances at play.
So instead of getting a degree in
I mean, you can work,
psychology,
so
I ended up getting my Mrs. degree.
Oh.
So I ended up getting some degree at least. But yeah, no, ended up moving to South Carolina. Best choice ever, honestly. I became super, super close to his family because I obviously lived with them, you know, for a couple of months, almost up to a year. And that is where I really got introduced to games.
Yeah.
So they were more gamers than my family was. See, my family was we watched movies after dinner, and we pulled out Scrabble and Monopoly. So when I went to my first Christmas, you know, spending it with his family, they pulled out Catan, Dutch Blitz. It was like, they had an entire shelf of just a bunch of different games. And it was very overwhelming for a person who has to pull out the dictionary for Scrabble. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and how I kind of got introduced to more gaming.
Pete says that he lived in St. Petersburg.
Hey. Yep.
So he knows Clearwater. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Small world. Because now Pete lives in Simpsonville.
Michael
Oh.
said that Greenville is such a fun place, which we all agree with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very happy to see the city getting back to normal. And
What's that new ice cream place that just opened up? Because I want to know about that. downtown. It's like a superhero.
Oh, I saw.
Oh wow.
I saw.
Miles and Molly, I think.
I didn't know we had a new one, but I saw someone post a video in there actually today, and I was like, I don't know where that place is. But that looks great. So I think actually that is the new one. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Now, I also heard that there's a Duck Donuts
Coming soon.
Just
Oh.
saw that too.
coming soon to Greenville.
And it's not as big a deal, but a Chili's is literally being built like 5 minutes from here. So
From here?
it's not as
By the
amazing.
Coles.
When Donato's gets built here, then we're gonna start.
I mean, I would have preferred a Chipotle.
Yeah, that's
but...
true.
This one's not too far. All right, so Jonah, give us your background.
Okay, so my grown up, we did a lot of moving in my family because my dad was in the military. So I actually was born in Frankfurt, Germany. We moved to so this is since I was born. Everybody in my family has a different story because we moved a lot. So like for instance, through K-5 to graduating high school, I think I went to 6 different schools, and that's like really low because my older brothers are like 8, 11, 12. So we moved a lot. So Frankfurt, Germany to Missouri, back to Germany to California. So my grandparents, my cousins, everybody's in California, SoCal. That's where my parents met. From there, my dad wanted to go to school out here. Stepdad wanted to go to school out here. So we moved to South Carolina, and I've been here since about 5. So at this point, I just claim it. But I didn't go to high school here. I played basketball in high school. I was trying to play basketball in college. So I actually went to high school in Virginia. I went to college in Florida. That's where we met. And then my parents lived here. So I moved back here basically and hung up the family. It was after school, I just kind of wanted to be close to home. I hadn't been around them for a while. Junior year of high school, I was going to school full time in Virginia, so I wasn't around. So I wanted to move back home. So I basically did move back to South Carolina, and then now it's only me and my brother here. Everybody else left. So they're actually moving. So they're in Sacramento now, but they're moving to Wilmington, North Carolina or something. And my stepdad's headed to Iceland.
Greenland.
Green.
Because Greenland is
Greenland's
actually
the icy one, right?
The icy,
Okay,
yeah.
so he's headed to Greenland in
Really?
2 weeks or something.
Wow.
So maybe we'll go to Greenland and visit him.
Ooh.
They were in Idaho like 2 years ago or something. They got no visitors. Nobody.
Hey, nobody
We were
checking
gonna
out
visit
there.
them once because they literally, my mom was like, if you come out here, we can go snowmobiling through Yellowstone. And I was like, that sounds legit. That's all I need to hear. And then we were going to visit them on like Thanksgiving or something, but it was snowing really bad. And she literally called and said, do not come. If you come up here, it is too cold. We will not leave the house. And I was like, all right, so no visitors. So yeah, so I've kind of been around a lot. Since we've been together, we've gone some pretty cool places too. We've done Italy and
we went to Jamaica.
the coolest one probably. I started with the coolest one.
Yeah, you really did start. You probably should have started with like.
We went to Idaho.
Yeah, right. Like California, and then built it up. Las Vegas.
Yeah. I started with the coolest one. We did Italy together since we've been together, and we want to do some other places, but we enjoy getting around and traveling, and so we love to do that.
Dean says hello, Jonah and Shantelle.
Dean, my guy.
Dean. Is this the one who said you look like
Aldous?
Yes,
Aldous Hodge?
Yes.
Oh, Dean.
Therefore, I got to give him props because I appreciate it, making me feel special like a movie star. So.
Michael says that Duck Donuts opens this weekend and Molly and Miles is a fun experience. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
We can derail just a little bit. It is interesting how much of the country we represent. I know a lot of us are Midwesterners. Where are you guys from? What's your...
Pennsylvania?
Maryland.
Maryland.
East Coasters.
Nebraska. Not many people from there.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio originally. I guess I'm the only one from the... Is Nebraska Midwest?
Yo, he said like we're all
It is
Midwest.
the same as
See how that
You
works?
look like you're from Ohio.
Right?
I spent 9 years in Wisconsin and then moved to Florida, but I don't have the Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I
I
can't do it.
grew up near Philly, so Philly cheesesteaks, tomato pie, Philadelphia pretzels. Man, those are the things. Those are the good
Hershey
things.
Park.
Hershey Park, yeah.
Katie grew up in
Oh, we've
Alabama.
been to Hershey Park. There you
that's
go.
good.
Alabama, Georgia,
Alabama, Georgia.
like on the line. So
Cool stuff. Where are you guys from? I know that we ask that question a lot, but it is actually really cool to always see the comments and see the diversity of regions that everybody hails from. Pretty cool stuff. Next,
Oh.
oh,
Do you want to ask the question that they're asking? Or
I chipped away to my questions. What's the question they're asking?
Kenneth wants you to share maybe your favorite game or games. It doesn't have to be your favorite, but maybe a favorite of yours. That's what they're asking.
Sure. So my family gets really growing up.
I know. Just got
I know.
Sorry. Good job, Mark. Okay, sorry.
So
Back to you guys.
Oh man. So, go back to Jonah.
So like normally in growing up, we all got together on so there's a lot of us in the house, right? So we're not normally together and hanging out and stuff like that. But on Sundays after church, we would always play games together. So literally every single Sunday we would play games as soon as we're done eating, and then also at holidays. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, when we're all together, it literally is like game marathons in my house. So we
3 a.m.
So it's one of my favorites because I played it just so many times and I'm pretty good at it and things like that. I love Settlers of Catan. I love it. We have played, my family got really into it. Every expansion you can think of.
Cool.
And we would build it. So I don't know if you've ever played it online, but honestly, it was a while ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, there was an online Catan tournament type thing, and we would all play. Like my whole family would be on and playing online. So anyway, we would we've got all the expansions, so we would build out like custom maps. Like we put the water outline, make it super big, and we flip all the tiles over, make just like one island strip, and you had to get to the island and flip them. So like we were deep
Love it.
into Catan.
Settlers.
Right. So I love that one because I played it a lot.
Cool.
For me, I feel like you guys have probably heard us say it a lot, as a couple, because that's when I got to really start playing some games. Code names. I love being competitive in that way. I love being able to be like, okay, let me figure out the board. So we actually have mixed there's a set of code names where it's just the pictures, and the pictures are really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how we guess half of those pictures, but there's that set, and then there's a set where it's just the words. So we'll actually mix both of those up together and create a huge board on the table. So that's actually my favorite thing. Yeah, very cool.
I
the
love
way
the
that I
words.
actually... Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, I love the words version of Codenames, but the mixture is pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
The way that I actually became aware of Jonah's pure and unadulterated love for board games was, I think, Thanksgiving. Like, we've been working together for probably a year, and I told him I had a bunch of games, and he said Thanksgiving was coming up, family's coming in, and I was like, if you guys need to borrow anything, let me know. So then Jonah walked in and saw this room and was like, what? I don't think we sent him away with like 2 armloads of stuff.
Yep.
And that was the start.
Yeah, that literally was just last Thanksgiving probably, right?
Yep.
So I think we had to have borrowed 10 games
Right, just
from
that
Will.
day.
We played so my whole family came to our house for Christmas or for Thanksgiving or whatever holiday it was. So everybody's here, so we're ready to go all day with their games. So I came over here and raided Will's house and took all his games, and then we played like a couple. We probably got 3 or 4 in, and then we hit Tiny Towns. And that was like the game of the holiday. We were like, Tiny Towns, do it, run it again, do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I had met I've known Jonah's brother for a long time, and I had met your sisters before. They were literally like this tall when I last saw them. So when they came with you to get the games, I was like, oh my word, it's been a while.
Very cool.
Next question.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit, so you mentioned going to college, tell us a little bit about the stuff you guys have studied, especially some of the things that are helpful to becoming a part of Tantrum House. And maybe you can both jump in with that, but...
Before we start that though,
Okay.
Dean wants to come to TantrumCon so he can meet the Aldous Hodge.
Do it. Join us, Dean.
Because we know that TantrumCon was the best con of 2020.
You heard it here.
So Jonah, you have to start practicing like
his
signature.
signature. Oh my god. You've created a monster, Dean.
Dean, you're the best. Alright, sorry, continue on, guys.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about, so I know you do some videography, that's really what I was hitting to, and that's maybe not even school, that's just some of the other jobs you've had in the past, but just give us kind of a rundown of some of the things that you guys have done in addition to travel.
So actually, my very first major freshman year, before I changed it 20 times, was video something. I don't even remember now. A long time ago.
Radio, television?
It was something. Anyway, but so I actually, kind of in my day job, make some educational content. So a lot of that is in front of the camera. So I've worked with Will on some of that stuff for a long time, so we kind of knew that, hey, I can make.
He can read a teleprompter.
Yeah, I can read a teleprompter and write a script for a cool board game that we're playing. So that was kind of interesting. But also in our town, we have a minor league baseball team for the Red Sox. It's a single A affiliate for the Red Sox, and I actually worked behind the camera, kind of roaming camera for that team for 10 seasons. So I just had a little bit of camera work. Really, I didn't go to school to study it or anything. My brother was in front of the camera on the microphone throwing t-shirts and stuff, and so I kind of at like 14 was like, well, I mean, I'll go hang out at the baseball game. So I started, and our town has a replica Green Monster if you're a Boston fan. So like the first season I was in the Green Monster putting up the score. It's super hot in there. There's no air conditioning. The fan broke. It was terrible all season. So I quickly got out of that and I went upstairs and I did some replay switching, if you know what that is. It's like running the replay on the big screen and stuff like that. And I did that for a little while. I ran the music. They had a music machine computer. I ran that, and then I quickly went behind the camera and did that for a really long time. So I just had a little bit of work camera experience, and I kind of know what I'm doing around. Kind of. I mean, I didn't go to school for it, so quite honestly, if you pass me this camera right now that we're talking into, I mean, I have to Google some of the buttons. I don't know what they do, but I can hold it steady, and I'm pretty good in front of it, right?
Yeah, cool. And then Shantelle, you're just a pure natural, right? Is that how it
Completely opposite of what Jonah experienced. I've never been in front of a camera. I've never really held a camera. I know probably where the on and off button is, and the record is like a red button or something. So all of my work, honestly, is done on Instagram and TikTok.
There we go.
I am a natural.
Not a TikTok.
So if you just
TikTok.
Let's go ahead and shout Shantelle out. Her last TikTok that she made 2 nights ago. So first off, she makes TikToks all the time that I'm in the background, and I hate them. I absolutely
He is
hate
always
them.
annoyed.
Because she's always making it and like looking for my reaction, and I'm like, I'm trying to just get water. I don't want to be in this TikTok. But her last TikTok was up to 33,000 views yesterday or something. So
Yeah.
What's your TikTok name? I don't even
shout
know how that works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made it super simple, which is just Shantelle Do.
Perfect.
Okay.
So that's
All right.
my Instagram. That's my
Shantelle
TikTok.
doesn't do our Tantrum House
she
TikTok.
came in. She literally, like, I'm walking by the room. She stopped me. She goes, I went viral.
Shantelle.
Because it was like my one video, and it wasn't even anything that was like super creative or anything like that. It was just my husband being annoyed in the background.
I think Jonah's
for every shot. And I didn't even get to finish my TikTok because he got that annoyed. It got to the point where it was like I pointed at him and I was like, "It's your turn," you know, like the little voice clip. And all he did was look at me and was like, "I am completely over this. Shut it down."
Well,
And I'm
it
like,
was so worth it, right, Shantelle? So worth it.
it is. It really is. However, I have thought about like trying to do a TikTok while he's on the phone with like his clients, but I think I could go really viral with that. However, it would probably
Vote in the comments now.
Yes.
Should
Please
I
don't.
do it?
Please don't.
However,
Please don't vote.
I feel like it would really.
Let's ask D. Let's ask D.
D,
What do you
yes.
think?
What do you think,
No.
scenario?
You know, beyond your back. Be with
Okay,
you.
I mean, I might be single after that. Who knows? So I'm a little worried.
Depends on how viral
But-
it goes, right?
Yeah, I think after a point, like TikTok pays you or Instagram pays
There you
you.
go.
So if I'm getting paid to annoy my husband, I think it's worth it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I said it in my vows
It's not.
to annoy you
For better or for TikTok. Love it.
annoy you till death. Is that how it
That's how
goes?
it
I don't
goes.
think so at all.
Wherever. Alright, so we talked a little bit about your favorite games. Tell us a little bit about maybe your least favorite, either game or genre. I know you guys have one that you're not a super fan of. What are the games that you're not all that interested in playing?
Because I grew up playing sports, because I grew up playing games like crazy with my family, I cannot handle cooperative games. The first time I played a cooperative game was realistically very recent, like within the last year, and they had to explain the rules to me like 3 times because I was like, how do we win? Who wins? And they're like, no, we're playing together. And I was like, no, this is not how you play games. Who is winning? How do I win? But I will say this: there are some cooperative games that I've even played recently after hanging out in here that are like, no, these are good. This is fun. But it's just not my favorite type. I would rather play competitive. I'd rather play to win. So.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same here. After I got introduced to a lot more games, and I got really competitive because his family. Well, the thing about it is that they showed me the first card game that I played with them was Dutch Bliss, to where his father went up to me and said, "Now I will show you how to play." And then after this practice round, there is no mercy. To which I thought, oh, he's just being funny.
Wait, are you her father-in-law?
Yeah.
I feel like that was my first experience.
Yep, that's exactly what happened with us. Here's how to play. No mercy.
It's on.
And if you can't play your cards fast enough, I'll play them for you so I can win.
Yeah.
Correct. To which, after the first round, I was like, okay, I think I get the point of all this. And then it was the no mercy round, to which I completely forgot about. And cards were flying. People were yelling. I mean, I got 3 paper cuts at the end, and my cards did not move from my hand. So because I got so into just being competitive after that, I think I completely agree with Jonah. There are a couple of cooperative games like Stop Thief that I actually really enjoy playing.
Yep.
But any other ones, I'm like, listen, I need to do something that's really cruel and mean that's going to stop you from winning, and then I get an advantage because this is going to be just really funny. So, yeah.
Michelle in the comments says, hey, husband says, hey, look at this game. And her reply is it co-op? That's funny. Oh, and by the way, going back to the former discussion we had about whether you should do the TikTok or the voting is in.
Oh, yay!
Sorry, Jonah. Everyone, do it.
You guys.
I'm sorry.
I trusted you.
Dean has not voted yet.
Right.
The determining vote.
Yes, he is a determining vote.
This is an easy one. Do you guys have a favorite player color?
Oh, mine is always green.
Green.
I do. So normally white, if it's available. Black would be second, and then green. Actually, I like. It's because it's
I guess
because
he
of
has
Catan
options.
because I played
Yeah,
it so many times, and I
You just
always
know
was
that's
white.
what your color is.
I always was white. So I
think
always
that fits
go white.
good. You guys could be alright. Are there any other green claimers?
No, the only.
I'm the whatever is left over. That's my color.
I cannot handle like yellow or orange. I do not want that color at all. No.
I cannot
You
do
need to change
brown.
the color on Trello then, because right now it's
Is it wrong
orange.
color?
Sorry, Jonah.
Blue. I'm always blue.
Will's always blue. I'm always not blue.
Right.
So if I get stuck as
Usually
the
red,
blue player, I
usually-
lose the game automatically. Because that's the pawn I ignore the whole
Right.
game.
Yeah.
I just lose it.
I usually play red or purple.
Do you have a favorite?
I usually play yellow because I'm colorblind, so the other colors are harder for me to distinguish.
It doesn't matter what color
Oh,
I use, just
I
the
did
one
not
app.
know that.
Yes.
Jonah actually has a sister who's colorblind.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
We're learning things. Which is
The youngest.
No clue.
no.
Oh,
So I'm learning
I
things
talk a
too.
lot to them, so the youngest.
Love it. As you guys become more and more a part of Tantrum House, we've already kind of pulled you into the live things and a lot of the reviews and things. Maybe you've already experienced it, but what are some of the things that you are looking forward to or that you very thoroughly enjoyed already just as part of the crew? Are there any things that you're like, man, I can't wait till we do?
It's like a leading question.
It might be. I don't know.
Good question. Quite honestly, so we were able to show up a day late or something to Tantrum Con, and quite honestly, and I'm not saying this because I'm part of the team now or whatever, I was very impressed because I've never been to a board game convention before and thought, I wonder what's happening in here. Like, is it gonna be cool or what's that? And when I walked in, I was like, oh, this is cool. There's stuff everywhere. There's booze. People are playing games. It was cool. So I really enjoyed that. I had fun last week on the 12-hour game marathon, and I think we're so close to a 24-hour.
We should bring up.
Okay.
Well, thanks for the plug. Jonah? I'm going to look it up.
The double
Will,
leading.
Will, why don't you talk about the campaign real quick while I look it up?
So if you didn't know, you do. We've got a Tantrum House Kickstarter going on right now for our season 7 year. We're already well into the season. We've been producing all kinds of board game videos and reviews, but we've got a couple of new ideas that we'd love to get onto the table and recorded. Some of those things include, one of those is a 24-hour game-a-thon. We just did the 12-hour this past week, which turned out to be way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Me too.
I thought it was going to be hard and like painful and
stressful.
exhausting.
Well, stressful. It's hard to be on camera.
Yeah,
hours
smiling
on
for 12
end.
straight hours. So it was really great. I loved it, and I am looking forward to doing a 24-hour. That's actually I think that's our next stretch goal.
Okay, so I just brought it up. Maybe right now, people watching can go check our
20
Kickstarter
people,
out.
go do it.
Yeah, I mean, we are at 23,800. We only are $200 away
Oh, wow.
from the 24,000, which is the stretch goal for the 24-hour stretch goal, 24-hour game-a-thon. So we are so close to that one. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We talked about it already at lunch today.
Right,
We're
we've
like-
already started making plans. We're counting on backers to come through for us. We've got some equipment on the way, some like ways to plug in our camera so we don't have to switch batteries every hour, which was a killer thing. And we've got another lens, hopefully that'll be coming, that you guys will get to use at your studio, and that will give us another camera angle for shooting here. So I think it would be fun. It'd be a super blast to be able to play 24 hours, have folks tune in, join us. We had several guests who zoomed in, and we'd like to be able to do that kind of thing again. We had a lot of great publishers who worked with us to be able to give games away every hour, which was awesome. So we'll need 24 new publisher friends to hook us up. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that's one of the things. We've also got a couple of other stretch goals that hopefully we can make it to. We just unlocked a new news segment that Kevin is going to start reaching and doing on our podcast.
We already did our first 5
We did
tests, but it's not up yet. Ryan gets to
Monday.
edit it.
On Monday.
Sorry, Ryan. It actually went pretty well.
Yeah, first ever news segment. So we're going to start doing that as a new piece on our podcast. And then there's a couple other stretch goals in there as well. Some of them really fun ideas that Kevin has and would love to be able to have the time to play around with. So bump him with some motivation.
If you ever seen the pitch meeting videos on YouTube, which are, in my mind, one of the very funny videos I like to watch, because this guy is basically pitch meeting movies, and the sort of behind the scenes of the publisher, the movie industry guy, and it's with the scriptwriter. It's hilarious just to hear the thoughts that go on of that. So I'm thinking, why can't we do that with board games like Settlers of Catan, or like even Monopoly, like older games, or Ticket to Ride? And I think it would be fun to write those scripts. So that's an idea. I don't know if we'll make that one though.
It's a little ways down there.
25,000. Oh, that we might be able to get
Is
that
that the
one.
25?
25.
25?
And then the biggest one that I think would be amazing to do is for us to write our own Chronicles of Crime scenario. That would be amazing. We've been talking to Lucky Duck, and it's possible if we can reach that level. It just takes a lot of work to create something like that. So we want to make sure that we have time set aside to actually do it as well of a job as needs to be done.
Yep. So cool stuff. So that we've got the campaign going on for like another week-ish, I think.
8 days.
Not this Saturday, but next we're going to be doing another of our Saturday morning board game shows in the morning, and I think like the campaign pretty much wraps up as we wrap up the show.
I believe we're doing that, but
Yeah, that was maybe that was fortuitous. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But we'd love for you to join us then as well. That was a great answer to that question, by the way. The 24-hour will be great. I know that one of the things that I'm looking forward to is just it's a blast to be able to have new people to play with. Not that I'm bored of Ryan and Kevin and Katie and Melissa. I'm never bored of you.
what is he talking about over there?
Just having new people to play games with. So even when we played Don't Mess with Cthulhu the other night, like your reactions to things I couldn't read as well as I could, everybody else at the table because I'm so used to playing with them. So I love just the fresh air, the fresh perspective on games. I love hearing Shantelle get excited about games that like Codenames is great, but it's been a while since I've like truly been excited about it. I love the energy. That's my favorite part of Tantrum House. And so being able to bring in new exciting faces and just reactions to things is one of the things I'm excited about, you guys being here.
Yeah. So Shantelle, what is your favorite part that you've been experiencing in Tantrum House?
So far, just like Will said, just the energy and being part of a different group of people. I am a mom, and I work from home. So I'm usually at home, I'm with Jalen, or I'm in my office all the time. So having the opportunity to just step away from that and be near other adults.
Who actually changes only rarely.
Yeah, but I'm not changing your pull-up,
Oh,
okay? Okay, we got years till close.
Thanks.
So people wearing Depends out here,
Yeah, they should call them
okay? No, but I just really enjoy having a different, just a friend group, and not only a friend group, but a friend group that's also like a family to me. So I really, really, really like that.
I will definitely say too, it is super fun to get some of these games early,
Yes.
these prototype games that are coming to
Yeah.
Kickstarter early. And it's been super helpful for me to figure out what type of game that I really like. Because believe it or not, I didn't actually know. Because we got a couple originally, and we were playing, and we were like, do we like this type of game? But I don't think that we do. Maybe we do. The game's fun, but I don't think we like this. So
it's a learning process.
Yeah, it was a learning process, and that's super fun too as well, because you can like, oh, this one's coming to Kickstarter soon, and this is super good. Like, oh, they're gonna fund for sure. Like, you can
I'm like, does anybody want this? And like right away, Jim's like, I want to try that one. And it's like, yeah, everyone wants to try that one because it looks so cool. So.
Yeah, and some of our gaming groups have crossed lines in the past. I know you play with some people that have known Kevin and stuff in the past. That is always one of my favorite things, is to be able to bring new games that nobody else can get a hold of yet. And be like, you guys want to play this? Yes, we're in. So I enjoy being able to hook you guys up with that, just for your group of friends that are playing together.
So Dean says he wants to see Captain Sonar with
Yeah?
all 4 couples.
Dean!
Girl versus
Oh, we
guys.
did!
So tell.
So we were, the short brainstorm at lunch, like, if we do a 24-hour game-a-thon, what kind of games are we going to play? Obviously, we want to play games that are, like, not just fun to play, but are really fun for other people to watch, and if there's a way for them to be involved, we want to try to do that as well. If you have suggestions for other games
Yeah.
you'd like us to play, jot those in.
Jot those now.
One of the games that I suggested was Captain Sonar,
Yeah.
because I super love it. Ryan doesn't love it as much. He has had some unfortunate
I am a slow
experiences.
thinker, so I like the
Turn-based?
the turn-based.
Oh,
Have
no.
you guys played it at all?
I've not played
No.
Captain
Ooh.
Sonar.
This is
Such an experience.
the best
It's-
version of Captain Sonar is simultaneous play of the game. Basically, 2 teams. Do we have a
We
have
have
a
a guest.
visitor.
What the?
visitor?
You can come get him. Why? Why is there a puppy in our house?
Hey, everyone
Say hi to our puppy.
Everyone
and
say
my
hi
son.
to him.
Thank you very much.
Aw. It got me distracted. Anyway.
Everyone was just as
That wasn't on
Yeah.
purpose,
Probably
I'm
couldn't
sure.
see it, but
I have played good versions of, or good sessions of the simultaneous version, but I've also played parts where it's like the middle of the night and people are just shouting and I can't process, and I don't enjoy that.
yeah, I felt bad. Hopefully, I don't even remember who was involved in it, but I was gonna play a game of Captain Sonar at Tantrum Con, and so I grabbed a couple people. And I was like, "Do you guys want to play?" And I unfortunately grabbed too many people, so I ended up with like 10 people at the table. And I was like, "Well, you guys can play. It's fine. I don't have to play. I was just, as long as people are having fun." And so then, and I think maybe, I don't know if there was a couple kids or who it was, but I ended up walking away, and I came back like an hour and a half later.
Like a game of simultaneous play Captain Sonar should take literally like 30 minutes or less.
Yeah, and they were like still in the game, and I was like, "Oh no, what has happened?" It was like their
When
first
did you
game.
start?
I know. I was like, I'm sorry for anybody that I trapped in this game. I don't know. You definitely have to have the right audience. It helps if you've played it before, for sure, because everybody's doing different things at the same time,
It's pretty
trying to
fun.
help their team. And it's real time, and there's usually lots of yelling and hurting each other's feelings. It's great.
And
Oh,
if
I love
Kevin,
it.
see,
I love it.
and if Kevin's the captain,
Oh, Kevin did
And-
not be.
North.
Do not
and
name me
he
the captain.
doesn't know,
He's
he
good
has
on
trouble
north
with
and
right
south.
and left. So
East
he
and west.
he
East and
was
West are terrible.
he was saying the wrong direction. So he's like east, 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 but
Going
writing
west.
west, west, west. So that's one reason why you can't find Kevin's submarine is because it's
People are like, "You
really
have to
not.
be here." He's like, "No, I'm way over here. What's going on?" Oh,
I am directionally challenged in real life and in board games.
I am his navigator.
Yeah.
I help him get places.
I do really enjoy the game because the team versus team aspect, simultaneously trying to sink the other person's submarine battleship, basically. It's like adult battleship. It's really amazing. play.
You guys would love it. As competitive as you guys are on opposite teams from each other, it's gonna be good.
Are there other games like that where it's team versus team?
Codenames.
Team 3.
Well, that's different though because it's like one and all the guessers. But like in Captain Sonar, everybody has their own position.
Right. There's nothing like that. I think there are some. There's a game called U-Boat that's actually very similar in theme. Team 3 would be another one, but it's,
Do you know any games that are team versus team where everyone is doing something?
What's the one?
Space-
There's one where
not
each
Space
person
Team.
is
Space
doing a
Cadets.
different mechanic. We played
Space
it.
Cadet?
Space Cadet.
Maybe
I think
it's
still
one of
I think it's
I think
still
that's
cooperative.
That's cooperative,
Yeah.
but everybody's doing
Different
something
stuff.
very different.
Tim says he came for the puppy and the baby news. Good job.
Nice.
yes, Shantelle.
Everybody's in favor of keeping the puppy. Dean, if you want to see us flip the table, you need to go to tantrumcon.com and then click on the table flipping video. There's all kinds of good table flipping action to be seen there.
And Dean says team wives versus team husbands.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a little closer on this. This is pretty fun.
Love it. All right, let me see what other questions I got. We're getting close. 9:44. We've been on rocking and rolling.
Oh, and as we don't have that many comments of people actually saying what games they would like us to play for the 24-hour gaming marathon, we'd love to have you put in some comments in the chat of what you think would be cool games to watch or be involved in. So definitely add those.
The only other question I have, and maybe we can take some other questions from the rest of the house, is just, and we talked about this a little bit already, but what kind of got you into the board gaming hobby? What game was it that, and it sounds like it was Catan, that it was like, man, there's got to be more stuff out there besides Scrabble and Monopoly. What can I try? Is it the two that we've already talked about, or are there some other ones that were...
So, well, it's kind of, it was Catan. Catan did it for sure. My parents, you guys know, but in our town we have a store called Boardwalk. And so they will go in there every year for Christmas, because that's when we're all together to play, and they get a new game. And they would get basically one of the games that won the spiel or whatever, and then we would go home and play it. So, Catan and Ticket to Ride and
Carcassonne
and Seven Wonders.
That's good.
We played a lot of that, So I played those like crazy. And then I've got a friend group that gets the new games, and so they're really into Stonemaier games, actually. And so they play a lot of those. So I went over there and realized, oh, these games are super fun and cool. And so I played with them. They actually realistically buy more and have more games than I do. So a lot of times I am able to, they have it. If I heard of it or wanted to play it, they have it. So I'll go over there and play. But yeah,
Good lineup. Yeah, all the classics. So those are great. Those are all the great gateway games that I think pulled probably all of us in at some point for the most part.
Yep.
I think Catan was the first one that I was
Have you guys ever played Puerto Rico?
I have not. I've heard you say that it was good, actually.
Yeah.
Is that one of the ones that pulled you in, or was it?
Say Puerto Rico, Agricola, Ticket to Ride. Those were the ones for us. Power Grid.
So many good ones. We need to go play those right now.
Power Grid.
Do you guys have any other questions? I've been asking the entire time, but it's been cool for me, I've had more opportunity to get to know you guys, which has been excellent. To know your whole family in general.
Is there anything that Jonah and Shantelle would like to share?
Or ask us.
Maybe, they can ask us or anything.
What
on the spot?
What do I need? I know you guys.
Or do you anything outside of board gaming that you want to what you do or?
Let's talk more about that snowmobile. Did you ever get to do that?
I did not get to. I've never been snowmobiling. I want to go so bad. So I didn't visit my family in Idaho, so I did not go snowmobiling through Yellowstone. But one of the guys that I work with, kind of my day job, just bought a house, in Idaho, and not 2 weeks ago, probably January, he was like, "Oh, I'm just out here snowmobiling. You got to come out here and try it." And I was texting him is that an invitation?
How much the plane tickets cost?
Right. So I want to. No, that would be super fun. Super fun. I also want to go skydiving. I've never gone skydiving.
What?
Oh,
What?
No. This is a reoccurring theme, Jonah. You didn't bring that up.
Good job. You just unprompted. So
Wow.
Katie has done skydiving.
Okay.
Twice.
Multiple, two
Twice.
times. And we said, I think last year at our Kickstarter, like if
Somehow
we
it didn't make it in the stretch goals this year. I don't know
Who was
how it
responsible
didn't
for
make
those
it
stretch
in the
goals?
stretch goals. It was like someone was responsible for the
I
stretch
might be
goals.
updating that tonight. We'll just see what happens. I've always wanted to do it as well, and I keep telling myself like if I don't do it before 40, it's just gonna happen. I've only got like 2 years left, so
I'm already 40, so
You have
it's
a
too
year
late.
and a half. Maybe when you turn 40.
we need to get some stretch goals if they're for skydiving. Playing board games while skydiving, we can make it happen. We need a publisher to sponsor it.
Alright, we've got some games coming in for the 24 hour.
Okay, what are the suggestions?
Jaws. We actually
Okay.
have Jaws a couple times. Pete, of course, added Jaws
Okay.
as well. Shark Island and Get Bit. We'll have to have a talk, Pete, about some of those.
We need to get Pete on the Zoom while
There
we
we
play
go.
Jaws.
There we
You can
go.
join us on as a guest for that. That'd be cool. David, Cold Express. That would be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
Visitors. Let's see.
Wavelength, husbands versus wives.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, we
Now
could
that
play
is
with the
when
audience
we
or
did
two.
play that one at Tantrum Con, and that was a blast. We played it with a huge group. The audience helped vote on where to place
How far left or right?
the
to-
dial. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, and Dean says for Captain Sonar, Jonah versus everyone.
You could do it. It'd be awesome. I wonder if you could play like 1 versus 1 on a game. Has anybody done that? Has
You
anybody
can,
played
but
just...
you'd have to control different.
Right, but if you knew what you were doing, like I think you could do it pretty fast, right?
Wow.
Whew, that is beyond my.
You'd be able to strategize way better than having to like yell and hope you're.
Gary says snowmobiling in Idaho is a blast.
Oh, Gary.
Done it. How
Gotta
do you?
do it.
Okay, so next question though, how do you guys feel about camping? Are you guys campers? You just camping?
Okay, so this
Pretty
is the
much
story
everybody
with
got,
camping.
I am
We
not
don't go
we
camping.
when all of Tantrum House goes camping, we stay in our bed, air conditioning.
Eating food out of the refrigerator.
That's right.
Hey, we brought our refrigerator
We did.
camping.
And a smoker and a projector, so it's not really camping. It's more like
We could do glamping.
You guys could do glamping? All
Maybe.
right, maybe.
We'll bring
In a cabin.
That's right. We'll get a cabin.
We can maybe do that. Did you have a camping story? I felt like
Yeah,
you
go for it.
Yeah, so growing up, I always wanted to go camping, and I wanted to go to summer camp, and my mom was like, we don't do that. We are high class. We go to 5-star resorts.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, but I really want to
married
get
me.
dirty. So I'm very used to the all-inclusive life, you know. But when I did meet Jonah, I thought, well, maybe
You reeled that in.
I can
Reel
smell
that
it.
in.
Yeah.
So we're going camping.
All right. It's happening.
But I told Jonah that I really wanted to go camping. I wanted to have the experience of putting up a tent, being in the middle of the woods, seeing the stars, building a campfire. And I'm telling him, like, my ideas of what camping is and, like, what I've seen in movies. And I think this would be great. And s'mores and a bear and, like, deer and going fishing. And Jonah's just, uh-huh.
We can make all those dreams come true.
And then out of nowhere, he's
We cannot-
just
we
like,
cannot.
you don't know what camping is.
Good job, baby. Thank you, Jonah. He's on our side.
Right.
So Jonah apparently thinks I can't handle real camping.
I've been camping, so glamping is different.
Okay,
I'm
this-
for
yeah.
glamping.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, we have team glamping over
Right.
here.
I have been camping, like, out in the middle of nowhere, bring your own stuff, hike. I've done it. It's tough. I was just like, as soon as, you know how if you've been camping, here's camping in my experience. 2 a.m. when you're on the ground and the ground is hard and you're outside, and that's when you're really like, I don't want to be here. I wish I was in my bed. And that's the part that I'm like, you don't know what you're saying.
I will admit that if you've ever only watched like Parent Trap or whatever, where they're like camping,
Yeah.
not real.
Oh.
When you get out there and you're like,
That's
really these bugs come.
Right.
That's literally what I was basing my camping experience
right?
on.
At
But we'll
2
make
a.m.
it happen.
It's kind of it's too cold. It's not the right temperature.
Right.
You're up. The ground is hard. You hear something. You're like, I just wish I was not here.
I'm just gonna lay here for 4 more hours
Right.
until the sun
Right.
comes up, and then
Right.
build a fire while I freeze over the
Right.
all these things and more.
Just start it all over again.
All right,
the
cool.
next
So-
day.
What month is this? June, July, August, September. 3-month-old. That's pretty brave, but I think you can pull it off.
I think
Maybe
we
do a little
can.
September, little camping action. Where is it?
Tim says glamping definitely greater than camping. Michelle says she was dating her husband. He lived in Canada, wanted to go camping in the snow, and she said, no.
In the snow. I've never camped in the snow. I think that would
I don't
be
think I would not.
50 degrees, or what was it, like 42 last week?
Yes, last week.
We went a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we went a couple years ago, and it got down to the low 30s at night, and we were camping. No electricity, no water, all of that. No heater plugging in. But we stayed surprisingly warm. I'm not sure how.
I don't remember.
But it was 80 during the day.
I think you were talking about the
nice.
raining one. Did you guys ever talk to Jeremy and Adelaide about their camping experiences?
Some fellow board gamers.
I'm sorry you did, Jeremy and Adelaide. We took them on a camping trip with us, and they were the same boat. We're never going to go camping. We hate camping. It's terrible. Played a bunch of games. Had a pretty good time. Started raining. We pulled up a tent and like a tarp and stretched it between tents, and then we kindly let them put their tent under the tarp so that they would be doubly dry. Except at like 3 in the morning after the tarp filled up with water. And broke the bungee cord and doused their entire tent. No! And then the wind started blowing. And all we heard was, ah! From Jeremy. And then we came to find like soaking wet and getting us. I felt bad.
Funny.
Another game to add to our 24-hour is Telestrations.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah. Very cool. Man, I think we're about out of time. Any final questions from anybody? Maybe if you want to ask any questions in the chat.
When your eyeballs freeze, it's too cold.
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah, so just a couple things. Don't forget, next Saturday we will be doing a live Saturday morning board game show. We'll be covering a lot of games there from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. We'd love for you to join us for that. That's actually the end of our Kickstarter campaign as well. So we'll be counting down the minutes and the seconds, and it'll be hopefully amazing. Looking forward to that. We're going to play some games while we're there, so make sure you join us. We'll probably give away something, I'm sure, too. So yeah, I'm sure. And this week, or next week, I should say, we'll be doing a big social media push for our campaign, so we'd love for you to support us in sharing things out. We would love support on that. Facebook and Twitter and all that. So.
On next Thursday, correct?
Oh, yes.
We are going to do a live playthrough of Whistle Mountain from Busy A Games. It's not quite available yet, but it's coming out a little later this year. And I think we're going to try to aim for about 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Thursday night. So a week from today, Thursday?
Yep.
A week from today. Come join us. Whistle Mountain. It's a cool worker placement, tile placement game, and from Busy A Games. And I think you'll really enjoy watching that.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Thank you guys so much for letting us drill you tonight. It was fun
No
getting to share some of our experiences that we've already had with you guys and getting to share them with everybody else. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and having some fun with us. Hopefully you enjoyed laughing along with us. We would love for you to tune into that other live stuff, and we'd love for you to help us out and spread the word on the Kickstarter for us. Also, I do want to give a really quick shout out. We got somebody posted on a Facebook page earlier this week and was asking about interactions with us, and I super appreciated that a bunch of you guys all chimed in and gave positive feedback about us. We super appreciate that. We work hard and we try hard to just be fair and equal in our dealings with people and to do our best in all that we can do. And it meant a lot to me personally that you guys were willing to jump on and say that you got our back. So super appreciate that. Cool. Shout out to you all.
And a final shout out to our sponsor.
Yeah, thanks again, Burnt Island Games. Be sure to check out Into Deep coming June 23rd.
Thank you guys so much. I think we'll call it there.
Bye.
You gotta hold that.